Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Day. It is Friday, October 27th. I'm Michael Taylor. Thanks for joining us. We have got an action-packed show today. Lots of stuff. Let's get to it real quick. El Toro Water District Vice President Mark Monin is here, and he's going to be talking to us about water safety and emergency preparedness here at the El Toro Water District. Sports Corner with Cole Young is going to be a good one, of course, and Concerned Citizens with Sue Modell. She's going to be talking about an upcoming event they have over at Concerned Citizens. So it's going to be a great one. Hey, we want to keep you informed. Lots of information going on today. It is open enrollment season, and Medicare Open Enrollment Clinic is going to be coming to us on Tuesday, November 7th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. over at Clubhouse 2. It helps you understand your healthcare choices, compare and analyze plans, identify potential costs, savings, drug plan options for next year. So a lot of important stuff. Make sure you schedule an appointment, 714-560-0424, and you can also call social services with questions as well at 949-597-4267 if you have those questions. But make sure you get out there and make that appointment and check out what the options are for next year for your Medicare open enrollment. All right, let's take a look outside, and it is a nice day, and we're going to have a nice Saturday. We're going to start warming up and get a little bit of windy over the weekend, and we got some Santa Anas developing, so we're going to go from really cool fall-like temperatures to lots of sun and lots of wind on Sunday and especially on Monday as well. So well, I know it'll get cooler again, but this is the time of year we get those Santa Ana winds. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset. We got a great picture this morning for you from Alan Clark. He's got some flowers blooming around his place, and sunrise was 7:05, and the sunset was is going to be 6:04 tonight. If you'd like to send us a picture of flowers or your pets or anything around the community that you think makes a great picture, go ahead and send it to us. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com is the email address. Tell us your name, tell us where you took the picture, and make sure you take that picture horizontally so we can fit it on the screen just wonderfully. Hey, we've got no meetings today. That's a fun one. Always nice to have no meetings. When we come back, El Toro Water District. Stay with us.
Time to play by your own rules. It's out with the old way of getting older and in with the new age of celebrating your age. At Alignment Health, senior health care is all we do. Our Medicare Advantage plans are leading the charge, so you can be the one in charge.
I love being in charge.
Because life should be a celebration, not a resignation. Welcome to a new era of aging. Alignment Health Plan.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all three of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you
And your family. Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Laguna Woods Dental Care, our goal is to serve and provide dental services to the residents of Laguna Woods. Dr. Mohsen Mahmood is currently specializing in senior dental care from USC Dental School and has been serving the Laguna Woods community for over 16 years. At Laguna Woods Dental, our top priority is your overall wellness, ensuring your current medications do not affect your oral health. We offer a convenient plan for $250 a year that includes exam, x-rays, and all types of cleanings are covered. Our office is located right outside of gate number 3. Come book your appointment today.
A will is not enough to avoid probate. However, if you have a will, a trust, a complete estate plan, then you will avoid probate. We encourage you to come meet with us. It's complimentary. We'll review the estate plan, make sure that it's current, covers all of your assets, and you're actually protected.
I'd like to personally thank L.S. Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
October is National Preparedness Month, and you know, one of the things we don't think about that often in terms of preparation is our water supply, because it's always so wonderful, clean, and safe from the El Toro Water District. I want to welcome Vice President Mark Monin. That's one of the things I think people just don't do sometimes, right? They don't have that supply of water at the house in case of emergency, because we're just so used to never worrying about that.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to make sure it's there, and then not only do you need to make sure it's there for yourself, but you should refresh it every 3-4 months too. You know, pour out the old, put in a new one.
Yeah. Okay. So El Toro Water District makes all the preparations in terms of that. That's one of your mandates, right?
Right. So we have trucks to get water if there's an interruption for an earthquake or pipes or whatnot. So that's what we're mandated to do, is to make sure that it's delivered to you on time.
Okay. We got a couple. Well, we'll go through some slides here. I want to get that first one up on the screen in terms of what the preparedness is, the emergency preparedness situation. Kind of take us through what you wanted to talk about on that one.
Yeah. So it's our job to make sure the public water, recycled water, sewer systems, you know, everything are working, and if there is an interruption, that we get them up very quickly. So our employees are trained to respond to the community and to make sure that you know, everything's working fine as soon as possible.
And our next slide, there's also, you have like resilience assessment. You do things to check to make sure you're kind of ready for this, right? This is something that has to be ongoing. You can't just, oh, well, we did that, let's put it in the closet and put away the plan, right?
Yeah, we're constantly checking things, doing drills, making sure that we're ready, not just waiting for the event. And we have plans, you know, emergency response plans and hazard mitigation plans.
Okay. And how do you practice those things? Are there drills like you would like hospitals do drills and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we do drills. We get together. Mutual aid's very important. When I was with the fire department, we'd work with other fire departments. So mutual aid's very important.
Right, like a mass casualty type drill that hospitals and fire departments and police would coordinate with. You guys have something like that?
Exactly. So we cover them, they cover us. They might be more affected by something than we are, or vice versa.
Okay.
So we work together.
Okay. And your employees, there's a lot of training that goes into this, right?
Exactly.
It's a little bit, it's across the board, right?
Yeah, they're trained. They have to meet certain requirements by the state, so they're trained, and we're very impressed. Our employers are constantly getting all these training certifications, and then we work together and have plans, you know, on regular training.
That's what I was going to ask about the certifications. There are certain standards. It's not like you guys just make up the standards, say, okay, you're good to go, right? There's some national standards.
There's federal
out
and
there.
state standards that we have to abide by, and it's great because our employees are constantly getting more and more certificates and certifications.
And what should the public glean from that in terms of like their security around their water? Like, you guys are ready, right?
We're ready, and there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, and it's costly to do all these things too.
Right.
So our job is to make sure it's there and ready for you when you need it. And there's a lot more than what meets the eye behind the scenes that goes on to make sure we can provide that to you.
Right, and the El Toro Water District, I mean, all of the supply, we don't have any local supply really, so for this area, everything's brought in, so that's that whole management of getting it in. It's not like, hey, we had a problem, there's an earthquake, but don't worry, the spring is still springing water, you know, so there's a challenge there,
So right around the El Toro Air Base, or what I call the El Toro Air Base, is kind of where underground water stops, and from here all the way into San Diego, we have no underground water, so we have to get it from Metropolitan.
Right, and so that's one of the main things that we have to worry about or concern in terms of emergencies too, is how do we keep that water flowing when it happens. You guys, in terms of keeping the water flowing, there's some 2,000-gallon trailers and some other equipment that you have in there for the emergencies, right?
Yeah, so we have trailers, we have fuel to make sure we get it to the generators, so we need our pumps working, so we need to make sure if there's an emergency that our generators are constantly running and fuel's put into them to replenish that.
A 2,000-gallon potable water trailer with a generator, is that also cleaning the water? Is it refillable? You could get more and treat the water? Like,
yeah, we're not filtering it there. We're just taking good potable water and putting it in it and taking it to the scene.
So if there was an emergency where we lost water services, an earthquake, so to speak, right? That would be, it seems to me, the most obvious one. The pipes are bursting. That water can be delivered to a location and then supply folks. They come with their jugs, fill up. that kind of thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a system, in Orange County that alerts everybody, and you would most likely see there where to go to get water.
And there's a training for that, imagine, as well, in terms
There's
of
a
how you
training
put that
for
emergency
everything
alert
and
out.
preparation and plans for everything. Yeah.
So what should we be doing? Okay, we depend on the water district, we depend on that water coming, and we count on it. But in case of emergency, if something did happen, what should the public be doing in terms of preparedness?
Yeah, so, basically, we really, and people in Laguna Woods do a great job of saving water. So that's always helpful. And you should keep an emergency kit at home and replenish it as you need it to make sure that if anything happens. And also make sure there's some water for your pets. Don't forget about the pets if
my
something
dog
happens.
drinks more water than I do.
I know it, yeah. So don't forget about your pets. You should have 1 gallon of water per day per person. And we should be counting on maybe 3 days of kind of being on our own in a major emergency. Right.
Kind of, so that's how much water we should have. So,
exactly.
3 people in the house, 3 days, we got 9 gallons worth of water plus whatever we might need for pets and that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you might want some for cooking too. Not just drinking.
Yeah. Fill up the bathtub. No, we're not going to. That's not an emergency. So tell us a little about the emergency communication system that El Toro Water District has in place to communicate what's going on in case of a disaster.
So Alert OC is really good. You'll see it on your text. It's a text message, social media, local TV, your organization, our website. So we all work together to make sure people are well informed and know what to do and where to go for whatever is needed.
So when people are watching television, that alert comes on the screen. It could also be something regarding water, not just a natural disaster or flood kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great way to get the information out there to everybody, because not everybody's as technical, especially in this community, as other folks. So it's a great way.
The
to
Alert
do that.
OC will hit them first.
That'll get it. That'll a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say in general is probably the most important thing that the Water District does in terms of the preparation that they have on?
Well, the planning and the infrastructure ahead of time, and the what if scenarios. And there's We Rock, it's like a mutual aid group in the water industry for emergencies. And we work with the sheriff, we work with the Orange County Fire Authority or the fire departments. So we're constantly in touch with them and have drilled to make sure that we're ready.
Okay, Mark Monin, El Toro Water District, they're ready. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, when we come back, Sports Corner with Cole Young. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome back to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and to start the episode, the stage is set for one of the biggest sporting events in the world, and it is the World Series. On Monday night, Adolis Garcia homered twice and drove in 5 runs as the Texas Rangers reached their first World Series in 12 years with an 11-4 blowout of the Houston Astros in Game 7 of the AL Championship Series. The Rangers punched their ticket in the World Series by being absolutely dominant on the road all postseason. They joined the 1996 Yankees as the only team to win their first 8 road games in one postseason. The Rangers went to back-to-back World Series in 2010 and 2011, losing both times, and have not been back since. They joined the Padres, Rockies, Rays, and Brewers as the only teams that have played in the World Series but have never won it. In the way of their franchise's first title stands one of the most improbable underdogs, the Arizona Diamondbacks. 23-year-old rookie Corbin Carroll led Arizona to a Game 7 win over the Philadelphia Phillies on Tuesday night, going 3 for 4 with 2 runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. The D-backs quickly fell 2-0 to Philly, then picked up a crucial win at home in Game 3. But that meant the series would head back to Philly, which is one of the toughest environments for opposing teams to play in. Against all odds, the Diamondbacks were able to win 2 straight games on the road and earn their spot in the World Series for the first time since 2001. The Diamondbacks had just 84 wins this season and a negative run differential. Despite all their shortcomings in the regular season, as the lowest seed in the bracket, they swept the Brewers and then the powerhouse Dodgers before beating the Phillies 4-3 this week. Both of these teams are true underdogs and were counted out all season, but have found their way to the World Series, and the much anticipated matchup starts off with Game 1 tonight at 5 p.m. in Texas. Game 2 will be tomorrow night, also in Texas, with Games 3 and 4 on Monday and Tuesday back in Arizona. Somehow, we're already coming up on the halfway point in the NFL season. Week 7 brought us some more shocking upsets and the emergence of some young talent. In place of Justin Fields, 23-year-old undrafted rookie free agent quarterback Tyson Bagent led the Bears to a 30-12 victory over the Raiders. Bagent is another true underdog story, coming out of Division II Shepherd University in West Virginia, where he set the NCAA all-time record for career touchdown passes with 159. Speaking of underdogs, I'm sure almost no one could have predicted the Patriots beating the Bills, as well as the Ravens' dominant 38-6 win over the top-ranked Lions. The Steelers came out of LA with a win over the Rams, the 49ers lost their second straight game after a last-second loss to the Vikings, and the Eagles reclaimed their seat atop the league with a statement win over the Miami Dolphins. Philadelphia then proceeded to boost their roster even more, trading for Titans free safety Kevin Byard. Byard is a proven all-pro safety who has 27 career interceptions and, even more impressively, has not missed a single game since being drafted by the Titans in 2016. Time for what has quickly become my least favorite part of this show, NFL picks. Last week, after making my picks, I suspected I'd go 3-1, with the Broncos inevitably falling short to the Packers. Turns out I went 1-3, and the only game I won was the Broncos. Can't make this stuff up. I'm sitting at 15-13 now for the season, just barely hovering above 500. So, for this week, I'm going with the Vikings over the Packers, the Dolphins to drop loads of points and beat the Patriots, the Jets to get a win over the Giants on their shared turf, and the Ravens to keep it rolling against the Cardinals. The NBA regular season tipped off earlier this week, and the race for the Larry O'Brien Trophy has begun. The reigning champion Denver Nuggets opened up their season with a rematch of the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. The Celtics, Nuggets, and Bucks start this season as the favorites to win it all, with the Lakers, Warriors, and Suns gearing up for deep playoff runs as well. It's a long season, but this weekend is full of games every day, so be sure to tune in for all the action. The weather is finally feeling like fall, so it's the perfect time to stay indoors and catch some football, championship baseball, regular season basketball and hockey, F1, English Premier League, and so much more. Be sure to come back next Friday for more news and updates. I'm Cole Young. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you in November.
Concerned Citizens Club is going to be joining us here today, and we want to welcome Sue Modell to the program. And you guys have an upcoming lecture series. That's the second annual Millie Hicks Lecture Series. Before we talk about the series, tell us real quick about Millie Hicks and the endowment that she left the Concerned Citizens.
Well, thank you. Millie Hicks was a very devoted member of Concerned Citizens, and when she passed away, she left us, let's just say, a generous bequest. And we decided that one way that we could use it would be to try to bring people in to speak to us who might not ordinarily be available, namely people who might be at a distance or commanded a high price.
Like speaking fees, things like that?
That's right. Speaking fees can be astronomical. In any event, so we're bringing in someone from the University of Texas, from Austin, Texas.
Sandra Rosenblum.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you a little about Sandra.
Please.
She's actually raised in Los Angeles and went to school through UCLA for bachelor's through PhD. And her focus is the transportation needs of the elderly. And the way she got into this is that, as I said, she's raised in Los Angeles.
Right.
And she noticed that we don't want to give up our cars.
Yeah.
And
well, we're
even
so
when-
locked. I'll say this: we're so locked in. We have such a bad system of transportation for folks that we are a community that has to kind of stay locked into our cars because we don't have really good alternatives, right? We have the bus system, and I don't want to get a letter from OCTA, but it really makes it hard if you don't have a car. So I mean.
Well, some folks here at the Village might take exception and say that here in the Village, we actually do have a pretty good transportation system.
Yes, there is right here.
But the issue is, and here I think Sandra Rosenblum could really speak to it, the issue is that we don't want to give up our cars.
No.
All right. Even so, it may be partly that after spending so many decades being totally autonomous and driving wherever we want, it's really tough for us to give that up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost a mental thing, you know. It's a grieving thing. It's like part of that independence, part of that life, part of that who I am is wrapped up into my ability to go to these places and do these things. And when you take that away from someone, it's like a loss of a family member practically. There's a mourning period. I've known people who have been in arguments with their children, their adult children, about that and that issue. Like, Dad, you can't drive anymore, and the fights and the grievances that go on, right? So it's a serious business.
Well, so here's the thing. Sandra has not made it her mission to get us out of our cars.
Right.
Rather, she's actually made it her mission to help us to drive safely as long as possible.
Right.
So she's going to come and she's going to talk to us about ways that we can improve our driving safety as we age, and also how we can keep our cars in a condition such that they won't let us down either.
There we go, yeah. So among the topics are going to be characteristics of older drivers, tips for pedestrians and passengers, difference in the ways women and men drive, and there's a difference, strategies to help older drivers drive more safely, and options available when we actually have to stop driving. So that point comes. So it sounds like a great opportunity to learn a lot about maybe, hey, if I change some behaviors here, and if I do some things differently here, like the maintenance of the car, for instance,
Yes.
or just a little bit more safety on the road, or some of the checks that I may have forgotten to take care of over the years, that can be possible, right?
That's exactly right. And I mean, I don't think that she thinks we should, be driving when we're totally incompetent. So
that's the last one. Options when we have to stop driving.
She may talk some about, because she also has experience about knowing what kinds of options older people are more comfortable with. So actually, she's got a lot to teach us, and maybe also staff and village leaders as well. Lots of people would profit from listening to her really wide research. She has consulted with governments. She has really been all over the place, all over the map, all over the world in advising people. So we think we're really lucky to have her coming to the village.
Now, the stigma is that older drivers are worse than younger drivers or other drivers. Is that true? Do you know? Or?
I do know. I've actually chatted a bit with her because I find this so interesting. Older drivers are actually safer than very young drivers. The worst drivers are actually adolescents and young adults.
They know it all.
Right. Well, they may be kind of in peer competition and things.
Sure.
They're also much more likely to be drinking and driving or under the influence of drugs. Older people have a much lower rate of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So actually, older drivers' safety record is better than you might have thought.
Yeah, and from my own knowledge of my kids, they just think everything's going to be fine, nothing's going to happen. They don't have that world of experience yet to know actually things do happen, accidents do happen, and that kind of thing. So I think there's a little bit they don't have that risk aversion that other adult drivers or older drivers actually have as well.
Well, I'm sure that's true, but then again. We can be trying to kind of overcome our risk aversion too much, too.
Sure, it swings both ways, doesn't it?
That's right.
So, what would you say? And we're going to get more from this from Sandra Rosenblum when she's here on November 7th. But what would you say is the time to stop driving? What do you know? What are some of the signs you think?
Well, I think that little minor mishaps are an important clue. You know, when people start having trouble getting through our gates, you know, or they start noticing dents. I have heard stories of people who kind of somehow downplay the dents around their car, you know, like the posts are moving in to hit them. So, but actually, I mean, there are telltale signs like that. Hopefully, we don't have to have a bad experience, really bad, you know, before we figure out it's time to stop.
Yeah, and that's it's such a tough challenge, you know, because, you know, especially for family members, like I said, well, okay, I'm going to stop driving now. How do I get around? How do I build in all of the support systems that I don't have anymore now that I don't have a car? And so I think that's a challenge too, right?
Well, here in the village, I would say there's a great deal of neighbor driving neighbor. It's amazing how generous and kind people are, that they're willing, you know, to help one another out. And that, of course, also gives people a little social time together, too. So there may be more than one motive for it. But we do have, actually, a pretty good bus system. We also have a new program in Orange County with taxi mobility, where for $5, you can go anywhere in the village or actually anywhere relatively close in the county. We do want to touch on those options a little bit.
Right, and there's the excursions program where they do the shopping centers and the trips and that kind of thing.
But
so,
it's a transition, is the point you're perceiving that.
That's the thing. Is that how do I convince that person in my life and my family member who I love that it's time to step away? And those are the real challenges in that. And I think let's recap one more time. Sandra Rosenblum, she's going to be here on November 7th. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect.
Well, our doors open at 6:30. We have wonderful refreshments at our events. You come to Clubhouse 7. 7 o'clock, there'll be maybe 5 or 10 minutes of club business. Then Professor Rosenblum is going to speak. We expect a packed house, so come early to get a seat. And then at the end, she'll probably talk for about 45 minutes. We do expect and welcome questions, and I have a feeling that our audience is going to have a lot of questions.
Yes, I have a feeling it's going to be a solid debate at the end of that one.
Right.
Sue Modell from Concerned Citizens, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for sharing our information on your program.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick check of the Friday movie before we head out today. It's going to be a good one. It is Secondhand Lions, and it's brought to us by Hoag Medical Center, and that's a classic with Robert Duvall, Michael Caine, and that kid from The Sixth Sense. I always forget his name, but anyway. It's going to be on this Friday, 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles, and again, that is brought to us by Hoag Medical Center. Take a quick check on the weather before we go as well. It's going to be a nice start of the weekend, Friday and Saturday. Sunday, winds, a little bit of breeze, maybe Saturday as well, and really windy on Monday as Santa Ana kind of kicks in, and it won't get too hot, but 80s, that's no fun. It's supposed to be fall, so we'll have to deal with that for a little while. Hopefully get cooler soon. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. Monday on the program, don't forget, we got some great stuff coming up. Hold on, I got it in my notes here. We have Saturday on the program, Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital and the Republican Club. We're going to be here on Saturday. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.